Welcome back everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Beorning, and we have finally found Radagast.
Why come you here?
The Acclaim let you in, did they? I have been expecting you, though sooner rather than later. You have in fact taken your time. I understand you found something upon Weathertop? This rubbing. I do believe it is a G rune, a mark oft used by Gandalf the Grey, another of my order. I guessed from the description of those 3 lines that he was on Amansul on October the 3rd, not but a few days past. I too saw the lightning upon Weathertop, and fear that Gandalf found trouble there. I have not seen him since we parted from Sarn Ford, so I can tell you no more of him or his travels. Of this place I can tell you much, make reason of very little. Alright, so we get another level 25 item, but it looks like I've hit the max I'm going to get out of those things. So let me just make sure there isn't anything really useful in here. Nope. Well, that's worth 2. Alright, we'll take the level 25 item.
Will you help me?
Let's see how much those are worth. 298. Yeah, actually worth on the high end, so we'll just grab one and sell it. The land itself is turning against us, and I know not the reason why. Even the shepherds are twisted shadows of their former selves. I speak of the bog prowlers, those that tend to the trees. If you can discern what is twisting the shepherds, I may be able to determine what is fouling the land. Bring me the moths that they use to line their nests. They roam the swamp to the east of here. Remember, I do not wish to harm the shepherds, no matter how confused they appear. They are innocent victims of the corruption, and know not harm they do. Now, fortunately, there is no failure mode for killing the shepherds, so of course he requested me to avoid killing them, so I will try to avoid killing them. And that would be consistent with my style. Okay, I already took that one. And I don't, well, I'm not going to bother with that quest. Alright, so I took the one to kill the Neekers already. So let's head down into the swamp and take care of some... Well, actually, mounting up might not be a bad... Well, actually, no, there's an orc there. And a warg. An orc and a warg. What a combination. Well, we'll have to take care of both at the same time. So, let's cleanse that off. Ouch. And done. Done. And more wargs. Wargs all over the place here. And a bird. Now, I sometimes wonder why these birds insist on flying so low. Alright, when you're looking for food, or when you're trying to be the aggressor in a fight, I could see flying low. But I would think that a Kraban could be able to fly high enough that if it wasn't in the mood to fight, it would just fly away. Alright. Now this will take care of at least the first of the Neekers, okay, or as they call them, Norbog here. Norbog is another name they often used for them. I guess Norbog might be the name that they're called by other folk. Since Neekers, well, the word Neekerbreaker, well, according to the Lord of the Rings, it came from Sam Gamgee, so having them having everybody in Bree call him that is a bit of a stretch anyway, as it is, so having everybody in Middle-earth calling him that would be even a bigger stretch. Alright, now, oh, here's the first of the nests. Alright, now that's one down. We'll have to take care of those undead later. Of course, if I kill one or two along the way, that's not going to be a major problem, since I am sure Radagast will not mind if I kill a couple of those along the way. Oh, yeah, like I am going to find any scholar notes here. Oh yes, between episodes... Oh, ouch. I did head into Rivendell via the Gandalf Express in Bree, where I took care of my Scholar's Quest to finish that up. So I do have the... Okay, I was there... Well, alright. So I now have that done. I joined the Scholars Guild. But that's on cooldown right now. So therefore, I will have another thing to worry about. But we'll see whether or not getting into the Scholars Guild would be useful or not. The real thing is, of course, for me to remember to actually make those crazy things in order to bump it up. It's not like a Beorning has all that much they can do with the with the Scholars Guild. It's not like I use legendary items that are related to scholars. I suspect my legendary items are made by woodworkers, which I suppose would have been an argument for being a woodsman instead of a scholar, but I decided to try something a little bit different this time around. And I don't always play what you say would be optimal. Sometimes I like to do things that are a little bit on the, let's say, role play side rather than on the optimal side. Which is also my answer to a question somebody posed recently on why am I dual wielding and not using a two-handed weapon. Now, I have not done the math on that to say which one is optimal, and I suspect it's going to be circumstantial on which one is optimal, because at least instinct tells me that in boss fights a two-handed weapon would be better, and that against creatures with poor mitigations dual wielding would be better. But no, I have not done the math to crunch that out, and I'm not going to do the math on that crunch that out. I say that I am going to be doing dual wielding on this character. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't care if it's optimal or not. It's more an RP decision than a optimization question. It's for the same reason why if I have one of my wardens, I get a legendary item drop that is not a spear, and even if it's a couple of levels above my best spear at the moment, I'm probably going to stick with the spear. It takes a lot to get me to decide to use a non-spear with one of my wars, such as we're talking about 10 levels difference or something like that, and I'm being completely unable to do anything. That's when I consider going about breaking away from my usual stance on doing things. Now, my captain, for example, there I always use a two-handed weapon, because I've decided that's what I'll do for that character. Alright, I have all the bog moss I need. So therefore, while I will of course take into account abilities, weapons, and stuff like that, I do not take it into deep accounts, so to say. For example, if I wanted to be optimal, then I would be using clubs rather than axes, or at least I'd be using clubs after the point where I pick up the club damage bonus, which is one of the class traits for the Beorning. But I've decided that I plan to stick with axes, and I'm not going to worry about that club bonus. And I've found out that there's at least one other person who feels that way, because Kaz pretty much said the same thing on his YouTube series. Alright, here we go.
Oh dear.
Alright, let's see. That and that. There we go. I think that's just the oatmeal problems, and I'm not going to worry about the oatmeal problems since I'm not going into oat Barton.
You have returned, I see.
You did well. The moss will help me to understand how the evil is tainted in the Red Swamp. This is but the first step in determining what caused the shepherds to become confused and irrational. This is still to do, my friend. It will not be easy.
This reeks of death.
I can smell death in the moss, as if it was plucked from the ancient grave. This stench of decay and evil is not a thing from nature. I believe that the whites are to blame. Whites are the bones of the dead, stirred by fell spirits out of Angmar and Hrudar. The wars here long ago made Haragmar as ripe for whites as the Barrel Downs in the west. Return to Haragmar, the swamp in the east, and destroy these foul creatures. If there are whites, I fear there are other fell creatures haunting the swamp as well. For now, though, you need only concern yourself with the whites and to kill 15 whites. Yeah, like I'm going to do that today. Well, that's a level 28 quest, so I can do a couple other things before then. So let's start picking up these other quests that are all over the place. And also what's on the bulletin board. Nada. So here, I believe, yes, right, he's looking for this.
Greetings.
This was my wife's. I gave it to her before we came to live with the Eglain. It was lost when she was struck down at near Narost. You have given me something that I cannot truly repay, but I will give you something of importance to me in an effort to repay you. Apparently his shield. Alright, well, I'll sell the shield to him. Alright, let's see. That's the thing about quest rewards. They say how important they are to him, and what do? We go to the next vendor and sell it. Alright then. We'll take care of that. And now these guys, of course, want us to kill spiders. And how are we doing with if I remember correctly, that's right. We finished the spider deed.
Could I speak with you a moment?
He wants me to collect poison sacks. But these are only level 26 quests, so I better do them now, rather than wait till I have another deed. Defeat spiders in Amon Ross, collect poison sacks.
Would you do something for me?
Kill the boss spiders.
Might I take a moment of your
Destroy egg sacs. Quite a number of things, but they all have one thing in common. It hurts the spiders. And I really should at some point remember to make my honey cakes. I'll never finish that deed if I always forget to make my... That's right. I will set up my scholarly, because while I probably won't find any scholarly materials down in that swamp there, going into the ruins with the spider, I should be finding plenty of them. So let us go. So let's first kill a couple of spiders on the outside. Then we can go inside. Right. Yeah. There we go. Alright. And we'll get plenty of them here. One. And we're heading toward that section of buildings right over there. Turn into bear. And whop 'em. And right now, what do we have up here? Lots of spiders. Well, I'm certainly not going to get through all this before the end of the episode, so I'll probably be taking my break about halfway through this. Alright, and there we go. And for another one here. Another one. Oh, and of course our object is, oh yeah, we gotta be in human form for these. Take that one. Now, of course, while I was in there, I probably should have changed my milestone to be an Oscar Ruth, because it's still back at the Forsaken Inn. That was probably not a good idea. Oops. Oh. I found the trapper. Good. That's always good to find the trapper quickly. Sometimes finding the trapper can be tricky, since it likes to stealth itself, and it has several different locations where it can be. It's always the toughest of the three spiders to find. So if I run into it coming in taking care of these eggs, then all the better. Oh, he saw me. Let's take care of this one. And now this bridge right here is another place where the trapper likes to go. I haven't figured out yet. Sometimes I thought I'd seen it on the top of it, but I thought I've seen it also occasionally on the bottom of it. Now, maybe I was just imagining one of those cases or the other, but I think the last time I saw it, I had to go up on the top of the bridge, which means going all the way around. But I could have been imagining things. But it doesn't always come up in the same place. That's the tricky thing about that. There we go. And so that took care of killing spiders. Of course, that's just the beginning of this particular area, because we still need to get the boss spiders. And we also need to destroy egg sacs. And where are the rest of the egg sacs? Down this way? I will worry about those later. So let's go back up here first. We'll take care of this spider. Oh, the spinner! The second boss spider. So there'll be two of them down, so I only have to worry about the Weaver after this, which is the one that's deepest down. So I'll look for the Weaver and get some more other things in the next episode of Pineleaf Plays.